All of us at home are very emotional and sensitive, so all of us have a short temper on us.
You too?
Yeah, people find this hard to believe. But it's when we feel like we've been disrespected or insulted, and because we give so much love back and we're so polite.
So true.
So when we feel like that, I guess the Sunny Deol side comes out.
My mom started working when she was 15 years old, and she's still working till this very day. She's in London shooting something right now. So I've seen my mom work, I've seen my dad work throughout their lives and through all the ups and downs, because this profession is very unpredictable.
I agree with Dad. I think we just really are such a private family, and we get left out of people's mind because we don't really promote ourselves that much. So I guess now Dad's gotten out there and he realized he has to promote himself a lot. So I guess we have to adapt with times as well to get into people's head and to make them realize that we're here. And also, if it wasn't for that, it wouldn't be this. So it makes who you are also. So you wouldn't want to take back anything.
Before Maine Pyar Kiya, no Rajshri film hero had worn jeans. You know, they joke tha. You know, Salman sir once told me that when he came to hear the script of Maine Pyar Kiya, he thought कि धोती पहना देंगे, because you know we were known for those kinds of roles.
Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. For my guests today, this is the first in many ways for them. For all three of them, this is also taking forward the legacy that left behind. Oof, that sounds really heavy. But honestly, I think they're just going to do what they do best. As artists, put out the best art forward. I'm of course talking about the team of Dono, Rajveer, Paloma and of course Avnish. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank
thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Of course, pretty much sums up what I said though, na?
Yep.
For a moment, Rajveer, were you like, when I said taking the legacy forward, were you like,
I try my best not to, but I guess it just still happens.
It still happens?
Yeah, just to think of the whole responsibility and everything.
I want to know that first conversation. And this is for all three of you. Because you all have legacies behind you. You have parents who've been such important part of this film industry. And in your own ways, I know you all have lived, grown up around that. It's very different from what the world assumes that world is. So let's go with that. And it's a common question. If you could just continue that answer.
Yeah, it took me a while as a kid. You don't realize, you think this is normal. You think everyone, families like this. And once it hits you, you realize you're in a very unique situation. Yeah, so it takes a while for you to get used to.
So when did you, like I said, when did you first decide and had that conversation saying, I think I'm going to be in this world and do acting and be forward? And I know you're Sunny Deol, but I want to build my own way and do it. Tell me about that.
I think my parents always knew that I got influenced.
They did.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Because I think I saw it around being normal, and people just put it in your head also as a kid. You don't know if they're saying the truth or not. You know, you will be the next star, you will be the next star.
Bolte rahe.
Yeah. So you, as a kid, you just, even though you have other interests, this always like stays like in your subconscious. And then growing up, once you start, doing theater or plays or acting, then you start realizing like, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah. So you've also done like how other people do Sunny Deol dialogues in front of the mirror?
No.
No?
Not at all.
Not at all? Never? You never felt like watching a film and doing like, let me see how the dialogue is?
I think I was, as a kid, growing up with probably a male dominant house. It was more of the action. It was more of me wanting to beat up the bad guys.
Oh, so is Karan okay? Has it been a traumatic, action-filled childhood for you all?
He's fine. He survived.
He survived it.
Yeah, he survived it.
Okay, we'll come back to this quickly, but of course, getting in Paloma.
Yeah, I definitely did have that conversation with my parents when I did act and love it so much. And I felt like, this is something I want to explore and do more of. I did tell them for the first time and they were like, are you sure you want to do this? Because as a kid, I actually had never shown any interest in acting particularly growing up. I think I was a tomboy, still am a little bit. I played a lot of sports in school. So those were kind of my interests when I was younger. But then when I joined college and stuff, I took part in a skit. I loved it, enjoyed it so much, told my parents that, this is something I want to do, convince them about how serious I am. And they were on board and they've been damn supportive of me and all my little like hobbies and passions since I was a kid, you know, whether
Sweet.
it's painting or whether it's my sports and stuff like that. So I'm very lucky to have very supportive and encouraging parents. Of course, they're so experienced in this line. I've been told that, you know, being patient is something that you have to, you know, get used to. And in college, when I did perform in front of maybe like 80 students, we were a group of 6 of us and we kind of created our own like play and dialogues and all of that. You know, in
So, yeah,
college, you
of
have those
course.
projects and
Yeah.
you get marked on them. So it was one of those experiences for me. But also, having said that, you spoke about the safety that a parent feels. You know, I have to say this, when I did get locked for a Rajshri film, my mom and dad felt so safe in general being launched by them. You know, we shot in Thailand, so we were away for a month. And obviously, as your young daughter going away and starting off a career, I guess every parent gets a bit protective. But I think because I was getting launched by such a safe production house and they treated us so well, like family, it was a great start, honestly, touch wood, yeah.
76 years of Rajshri Productions. Wow, I mean, just 24 years more and a whole century out there for you.
Yes.
I'm not putting any pressure at all. Where I was going with this is that, you know, Rajshri is also known as people who were very traditional in their approach. And people loved that with the movies that we saw. We saw family values and, you know, we saw that love stories were pure and they were very particular of not going in the direction. But slowly, I think there was a phase where they tried different things as well. Main Prem Ki Diwani was like a thing saying, okay, you know what, we can do both. We can have modern takes.
Yeah.
Please
yeah.
correct me.
Absolutely.
So, from that to now, I see again Dono is a very, very modern take and sort of evolving with the world that we are today. And you stepping in is a mark of the fact that I'm going to take forward this legacy, like I put it. I will now let you go ahead and tell me, you exactly know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
How you look at this entire evolution, and for you, when was that moment? And it must be a little daunting, of course.
So with respect to Rajshri and obviously 76 years of making making wholesome entertainment, this term wholesome entertainment, you know, gets attached with Rajshri quite a bit. And what it basically means is a film that you can watch with your whole family. It's not that we haven't made those kinds of films over the years, like you said, since we've been producing films since 1962, distributing since before that. We made films, dacoit films, action films, but the ones that have worked are the ones which family audiences have gone and seen saath mein. Now, family audiences, in my opinion at least, see all kinds of films, but the ones that you can see as a community saath mein. I wasn't around when Maine Pyar Kiya released, but that was also a phase, you know. My father tells this story actually with a lot of with a lot of humor, because before Maine Pyar Kiya, no Rajshri film hero had worn jeans. You know, they joke tha. You know, Salman sir once told me that when he came to hear the script of Maine Pyar Kiya, he thought ki dhoti pehna denge, because, you know, we were known for those kinds of roles. But my father just said, see, I want to make a film about people who look like me, who dress like me, who think like me. And Maine Pyar Kiya, no one can ever say that it did not fit within a Rajshri audience's point of view. But at the same time, you know, it brought a whole new generation into people who, you know, of people who loved Rajshri films. And when I was starting off with Dono, you know, he told me the same thing. He said, make a film that comes from you. That is the way you look at the world. That you feel is authentic to your world and to the world around you. Because as soon as you try and make a film, say, which is Rajshri, or at the same time you try to make a film that is completely not Rajshri, you won't be authentic. So Dono for me is obviously it's my take and all of our take on what relationships today are, what love is today, and I feel that any audience, any demographic from that matter will connect to this, because obviously at our age we've gone through these emotions. Someone who's elder has gone through these emotions in the past. Love is a universal feeling, I feel, in general. So I really hope that in that way I feel it'll still connect with that Rajshri ethos as such.
Yeah, like, very well put.
Yeah.
Every time a star kid per se is launched, we also talk about the privilege that comes along with it, right? We start the nepotism debate again. That both of you have not really lived per se like a star kid because of the families that you all come from. Like I said, I've had numerous conversations with Sunny ji, and I know that there is the film industry, but you all have lived like a little family inside it, slightly secluded
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
ways of it. Please correct me at any point you feel I'm not giving you right information. So that I feel people also know. Like, you all were not introduced. You all are, of course, you belong to this Gen Z and this entire generation that we have, but you all were not seen too often going out and partying and hanging out with the cool crowd or getting papped and getting clicked. I think that is why they feel like, you all have been prepping quietly for this and not usually taking that advantage of, listen, I'm so and so's son and so's daughter. Tell me your take on that. So, similarly, this question is for both of you.
As a kid, also, my dad would tell me the less, privileged kid I am, the less privileged kid will work harder than me. So that was always built in my head. I always felt like I, I should feel like I deserve this. I should feel like I'm good enough for this. So since I was a kid, that mentality was already in my head, and I did not want a helping hand in anything. I just really wanted to make my own mistakes, be my own person. And it's hard when people expect you to be a certain way because of the legacy of my family. And it's a long battle I will continue with me throughout my life because it's a big shadow I'm in to get out of that. And also, more than my father, I grew up with a mother who's so far away from Bollywood. I always say if Bollywood and fame is the sun, my mom's Pluto.
That far.
Yeah, so it just gave me a different perspective on a lot of things. And I saw that art of fame and everything, what really works is craft. And what really drawn me to this is craft. I genuinely want to be a good actor. I genuinely just want to act. It just happened that I have a last name like mine that, throws a lot of spotlight on me.
So, how did you finally sort of decide that no, I will want to do something outside? Because what happens is your brother has gone through it, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's a harsh and it's a very, very difficult industry to survive and sustain. So, your brother's seen it. He's
Yeah,
he
yeah.
struggled with it, right?
Yeah.
Because he got a big launch and everything, but then he really didn't go in that direction. It couldn't sort of be. I want to know how you have sort of seen that, learned from it, and it's a learning experience. It's
It is,
wonderful.
it is, it
So
is.
tell
it
me about
is.
that.
I always wanted to be launched, not by family. I just wanted to feel like I earned my merits. But I didn't have the heart to tell my dad. So I guess, destiny happens. And after that movie did not work out, my dad also, I guess, all of us were in such a retrospect. And he also realized that I should let my sons go and see how they survive out there. So it was a lot of lows that made me realize that this is just, you got to look for small victories. You just got to look for small victories. You can't look for the grand scale of fame and all of that. You just got to keep building your confidence. It's like a tiger trying to get his first kill, you know what I mean? To get that confident
Absolutely.
to be out there. So that really was a learning curve, I have to say. Assisting on that movie, being on that movie, and then seeing what happens after the release. It was a learning curve to all of us.
And even the success and the failure of your own family, I think, is also so important. Because he keeps talking about how
Yeah, yeah.
it's not like he's all had highs, right?
No, no, no. I think growing up, I grew up in the mid 2000s, and my dad was not what he used to be in the 80s or the
Absolutely.
90s. When he was really big, I was very small, and I never saw it as, oh, this is success or failure. I mean, you're a kid, you don't really realize it. So after 22 years and Gadar 2 releases, so the first time, well, full consciousness, I could see my dad finally hit the bullseye and finally be joyful and happy.
Yeah, it's wonderful. What about you, Paloma?
My mom started working when she was 15 years old, and she's still working till this very day. She's in London shooting something right now. So I've seen my mom work, I've seen my dad work throughout their lives and through all the ups and downs, because this profession is very unpredictable and can change in a day, right? But I think that hard work that I've seen from them is something that I've imbibed, and I'm very excited and grateful. And we're just starting our journeys, and I couldn't have asked for anything better to begin my career. And I agree with Rajveer about how it's our craft at the end of the day that is going to speak and is is what matters at the end of the day. We've all worked really hard, and Avnish and all of them, they took a number of auditions before they selected both of us. So obviously it's a very proper way they, approach before you select your cast, because you have to, Avnish has sat with this film script for 4 years or something. So he knows it inside out, his characters, he's written it, and obviously to be able to do justice to that is a tough decision. So I think it's only fair to prove yourself enough and get that role on your own merit. That's what's going to take you forward in this profession. I don't think being anyone's daughter or son is really going to make you sustain in this career and this profession. Yeah.
Absolutely. Avnish, I would like to get you in here and say that, again, I can imagine people assuming that, एक call है, Salman कर देंगे, cameo, एक call. But it is what they'll assume about you, because the legacy of Rajshri is so much that you will have access to anybody that you can go. But you chose to take new people. I want to know your thought behind that, and the assumption that everybody's at one call and everybody is going to just welcome Avnish. I don't think reality is that way. If it is, please tell me.
No. So when it came to this subject, the film talks about closure. It talks about unrequited love. It talks about love, which is, and there is a certain amount of innocence that love entails and has. This was a film that I wrote when I was in my 20s, and it's a film of two people who are 24, 25 years old. I just felt it's so important to have actors who are true to the characters, because you could have the best of actors, but if they don't look like the character, if they don't feel like the character, then the entire film just falls flat. So when I met Rajveer, when I met Paloma, I saw my characters in them. It's not that just because whoever they were, or newcomers, or even if they were experienced, in my opinion, no two people could have played the characters better than them, and that's what I felt. So for me, that's why they're in the film. Always be true to the film, always be true to the characters. Because you want to make a good film, and a good film is only complete, most importantly, when you have the right people playing the right parts. Again, I think that's a misconception. People in this business have not gotten to where they were because they've done things without thinking about it twice. Everyone, no one does favors as such. Only if people see merit in doing something, only then they will go ahead and do it. And that's something that, it happens in all industries, and especially in ours. Also, I think it would not be fair to the film, it would not be fair to the project, just because maybe you might have had access to someone to get them involved in the project. It needs to be right for the project itself. And that's what we went with this. That's what I've learned from my seniors, that integrity is the most important part as a filmmaker and as a film production house. And that's what we try to maintain throughout this entire process.
But I love that Salman and Bhagyashree ji will sort of launch that song. Life comes in full circle for Rajshri, right? Your father's debut film, your debut film. I think that is also what you were trying to do, right? To show that it's a full circle, it's 76 years. So tell me about that. I think that really worked. And you see it, I'm like, I see what you did there.
We're so grateful to Salman sir and Bhagyashree ma'am for that, because we just made that connection. That was a love story. Again, a film which had 3 newcomers. Salman sir had one film before that, but this was his first as a lead. But it was 3 debutants, a director and an actor and actress, starting off their journey with a love story with Rajshri. Rajshri's had a history with newcomers, obviously. So the connections were all there. So when we approached them, it would be a great way to put out our song, and they obliged us. We're just so grateful to them for that.
All right, some fun questions for the team of Dono. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. What's the craziest fan experience you've seen in your family happening?
I remember for my grandfather's birthday, I was very young. And I don't know if have you seen Godfather 1? You know how everyone comes to meet the Godfather on their daughter's wedding? So he met everybody. There was at least 200 people outside the gate, and he sat with each and every one individually. And one person got a tray and washed his feet and kept the water.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And
like Dharamji's feet and then kept it?
Yes. That that's when I started realizing that how people really love him and look up to him. And
it is very Godfather-like. It is
that's
so well described.
That's what it is.
Rajveer. Woof. What about you? What's that fan experience? You're like, oh, so this is how it works. Like, this is the kind of love you get.
We're so
they do.
lucky that
They
we
do.
have parents who've been so loved and appreciated through the years that it actually gets poured onto us also, you know. It's amazing. I think when I was a kid at airports and when we're on holidays and stuff, maybe people just gathering around mom and asking for a photo was very new. I don't think at that age I knew that being an actor has all these things, you know. Yeah, when you're a public figure, all these things come with it. I think that was something new for me to kind of realize and accept at that age. Yeah.
Okay, great.
When Unchai released last year, it was our 75th year
Yeah.
of existence at Rajshri. And when Unchai released, Anupam Kher sir, he was very gracious enough. He held a screening where, you know, invited a lot of people from the industry. And my family's always maintained a very low profile. You know, we didn't even promote the 75th year as much with as much pomp and show because we've always felt films talk for themselves. But it was so wonderful to see so many people come out to support, even people we've not worked with.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just wonderful. Akshay sir came, Rani ma'am came, so many people whom we've never worked with, Rakesh sir, Rakesh Roshan sir, diggaj jo log hote hain, and true, you know, legends of cinema from over the years. When they all came out to support us, it just felt so lovely and honestly very humbling. This is the legacy, you know, that
Absolutely.
the Rajshri is built for itself.
Okay, absolutely. Okay. An advice from your father and from your brother that you're always going to remember, particularly while joining the film industry.
Just keep working on your craft. Just keep working. Become a good actor.
This is from Sunny.
Yes, yes. And the characters also is the characters that make you a hero or a star or whatever word you want to use. So he just said keep working on your craft and just don't get distracted by anything else.
Okay, what about your brother? Karan.
Rocky, he saw how dedicated I was, so we don't really give each other advices because we're like buddies. I
Sure.
don't think we can ever sit down and have a serious
Yeah.
conversation. But I know him so well. I always say we speak telepathically. So whenever he knows I'm down or something, he just start playing video games with me.
So cute.
And in that way, it's just telling me, just chill out. It's not a do or die situation. Life is going to be all right.
Mm-hmm. Something from Poonam ji that you think an advice that's going to really come in handy for you.
Mom always says enjoy what you're doing. Dad always talks about let your work speak. That's very, very important.
Fine. What about you, Avnish? Suraj ji must have something you must have said. Okay, you know, fathers always have some.
No, absolutely. As a filmmaker, he said it's very important that every day on set, you're very clear about what it is you have to do on the day. Every technician knows their work better than you do in terms of their department. But what the director does is takes everyone together. So that clarity is very important. If you don't have that clarity, involve everyone, collaborate with everyone. Don't sit within your own head and try and figure things out. And that really helped me. From day one, I tried to use that, and it just helped create the cohesiveness of the entire film.
That's 100% great advice.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite Sunny Deol film
Arjun.
and why?
I just remember I saw it much later. As a kid, I was not born then, but I saw it much later. And growing up, I saw Dad in all the action roles. And this movie has action as well. But I saw him as such a teenager in that movie. And so it was a little different, and I really liked it.
Okay, great. Do people come and he always cracks? People assume that he's going to go blast at them or something, which I found it hilarious. He said people just assume I'm very angry.
Yeah, he's not.
But you're completely opposite like that even when you talk.
Yeah. I think all of us at home are very emotional and sensitive. So all of us have a short temper on us.
You too?
Yeah, so people find this hard to believe. But it's when we feel like we've been disrespected or insulted, and because we give so much love back and we're so polite.
So true.
So when we feel like that, I guess the Sunny Deol side comes out.
The Sunny this side comes out.
Yeah.
Now, what about you? What's one film of your mother's that you absolutely love?
I think Trishul was a lovely film. It was written and all the performances were beautiful. I always enjoy that. And I also loved Karma and great performances there as well. Such a patriotic vibe to the whole film. Lovely songs also.
Yeah. This I know you've already thought of. Your favorite Rajshri film.
My favorite Rajshri film. So my favorite Rajshri film, honestly, is this film called Dosti, which we produced in 1964. It's beautiful. If anyone hasn't seen it, I really recommend it. For my father's film, again, it keeps changing constantly. At this point of time, it's Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. It's a film that I saw a lot during writing Dono, because Dono is also based around a wedding. and I don't think any film has contributed so much to the wedding film genre in India, I think, as much as Hum Aapke Kaun has. So I'm one of the many fans of the film.
Is there an anecdote that you particularly asked because you had a thing to it that is interesting about it?
About Hum Aapke Kaun?
Yeah, about an anecdote that you thought is, oh, this is so interesting, because I'm sure you did your research also, right?
In the film,
Yeah.
so I was actually born during the shooting of Hum Aapke Kaun, so
Yeah.
I don't have any memories of the film itself. But I remember when I was I asked my father about, because in my opinion he shoots songs the best, or one of the best, you know, especially amongst from directors from the 90s onwards. And I remember asking him, how do you conceive shooting a song? The worst thing you could do is you have a great song, but on the edit table it just feels like you have to remove it because it's not contributing much. And he said he sat with me and he saw Didi Tera Devar with me, which is a very long song. I think 3 या 4 अंतरे होंगे उसमें.
बिल्कुल.
But at no point of time do you get bored during the song. It carries there are gags, there are story elements, the characters move forward. So I remember just having that discussion with him. He spent about half an hour with me discussing that song. And it just completely changed the way I looked at the musical format, at the way in which I looked at songs being picturized. Hum Aapke Kaun, to me, that one memory at a personal level really connects.
Okay, fantastic. That's really interesting as well. Okay, on that note, an actor that you truly get inspired by from today, and why? And tell me. And a director on your list, of
Okay,
course.
I would say recently I really like Vicky Kaushal. He's so
So good.
versatile and so subtle, and I think he fits in everything, and that's very rare sometimes.
And a director on your list that you really want to work with?
There's a lot. There's a lot. I guess for me, I think a perfect movie, if you want to call it art or commercial, but he gets somehow all of them into it, is Raju Hirani. I think he captures each and every aspect, and it's you learn a lesson, you laugh, you cry. He does everything so perfectly. I'll call it like a perfect painting sometimes.
Oh, I like that. What about you, Paloma? The same question?
I think Alia is one of them for sure. All her roles and her choice of films is amazing and inspiring. Even Anushka, Priyanka, the choice of work that they do and the versatility that all of them show is very, very inspiring for me as a young actor.
Awesome. You, tell me, is there a person that you really want to direct, or the kind of work that they've done that really inspires you?
I'll say the same as Rajveer. I'd love to work with Vicky Kaushal. I think he's he's done so many roles, whether it's Uri, whether it's Sardar Udham or Zara Hatke Zara Bachke. The versatility is extraordinary, and I'm a big fan of his personally as well.
Okay, this question is common for all of you. One thing that you would never want to do in films. It can be about the script, it can be something. So what is one thing that you would not want to get into at all?
I think I don't want to mimic any of my family members. If I ever get the
This is
thing,
a
I
great
just
answer.
don't want to do that at all.
Go in that zone.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
like,
find any
If
similarity.
it works, it worked. Then it's like painting the Mona Lisa again. Like, why would you do it?
It's a great
lovely
answer.
answer.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fantastic answer. Yeah.
It's something I'm not comfortable with at all.
Yeah, and people would want to say
yeah,
hope
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I love that. Okay, what about you, Paloma?
Yeah, see when it comes, I guess.
that's
yeah.
also fair
I
enough.
don't think I have any kind of preconceived notions
now.
as of now.
So open to anything.
I mean, open to good work.
Working
Working with good work, good people, those things are important.
Yeah,
No,
good people.
And sorry I'm interrupting, but I can say this about Rajveer and Paloma. I think the versatility that they have,
Yeah.
I've worked closely with them. They can honestly sink their teeth into so many different characters, so many different genres, that I think that honestly what they're saying makes sense. That limiting them in any way, I think would do that, I think, talent a lot of injustice.
Okay. So the question's for you again.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is one thing that you wouldn't want to go? What's the thing that you wouldn't want to do in films because you're an artist?
My father always said that don't make a film that you don't believe in completely. You mentioned Main Prem Ki Diwani. He always says that was a film that he always felt that he was making but did not completely believe in. And always be true to who you are as a filmmaker. Again, I don't think I know myself as a filmmaker truly. I've only just begun. But I think that's something that will always remain in my mind. That don't make something you don't believe in.
Yeah. So, okay, fair, which is also a great answer. Okay, tell me how you deal with the paparazzi. One thing, do you have do's and don'ts for that, for yourself?
I just be polite. I know they're working at the same time just as us.
So do's and don'ts is just be polite and be yourself. That's
yeah,
it?
yeah, just be polite, be myself. Because end of the day, all of us are trying to make get a paycheck and do our jobs.
100%.
Yeah.
Well done. What about you?
Yeah, you have to accept that when you're joining this profession. I think that's one of the things that you have to be okay with. And like Rajveer said, they're also working. We're also trying to work. We're all just trying to sustain in this industry. So I guess you need both parties to survive.
Sure. Avnish, have you thought about that? You like your father both are really have been in this private cocoon. So that shall continue.
I think, you know, the public glare is a lot more on actors, thankfully.
100%.
So I think we have it easier. I can get away with not having to deal with that.
Yeah.
But it's just gratitude. I mean, someone wants to take a picture of, "Arey yaar, badhiya hai yaar," you know, it's that
Bilkul.
way. Yeah. I
Bilkul.
mean, you know, it's some kind of an appreciation. So again, I don't have to, I think about these things, thankfully. But yeah, just gratitude, I guess.
We're talking about Dono, how can I not mention love? So, okay, what's the most romantic thing you've done till now in a relationship? I like how you went like tad shade pink, but it's okay.
That's the curse of being so white. I'm not really a romantic person, but as a
But
kid,
something, I think it can be
I
anything.
guess it's a damn boring. I guess I made my own card
That's romantic. I think.
Sweet,
yeah.
That's so sweet.
and embarrassing.
No, but listen, I think women love the fact when someone, you made your own card, I think it's cute.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think, Paloma?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's
love
super
a card,
romantic.
a letter.
My
Love
handwriting
that.
is so bad, you'll think it's like ancient Egypt text or something.
Okay, proof. She was happy, wasn't she, when she got the card?
She was. I think so.
See? We know.
Allegedly.
Sweet. You are romantic. Men like to say that, but I think you're romantic. No, Balo, what do you think?
I think it's damn cute. I also used to make a lot of cards. Yeah, I love doing that.
So, what's the most romantic thing you've done? Or someone's done for you, either way.
Probably written me a handwritten letter was something that I was very excited about receiving. Yeah.
See, it really works, Rajveer. I'm saying.
I'm taking
Is there
notes.
something? I think directors often are getaway, but I think a lot of directors put a lot of their own experiences in art as well. I want to know, is there something very romantic? You said unrequited love. Is there an anecdote there?
Not with me personally,
Okay.
because I mean I've had one relationship in my life and I'm married to her right now. But something that is there, for example, in the film we have this entire sequence which comes in the trailer as well. You know, it's a big massive proposal kind of a thing, very cheesy, romantic, corny, and I wrote a lot of that. And I wrote a lot of that, and then a year later I was getting married, and I realized I'm sitting and planning the same kind of proposal that I made fun of in the film. So that was that's probably the most romantic gesture I've done, where I planned that whole proposal thing, got on my knee and everything. But yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Did you all
Yeah.
know this was kind of semi-inspired from his life?
Not at all.
How much of it has your more experiences? I'm so intrigued
This
now.
film,
Yeah.
nothing else. In terms of the themes, yes.
It is.
You know, we talk about family. We talk about, for example, a very large part of this. The theme of the film is an old generation and a new generation sort of coming together. Wedding is that kind of a place, you know.
Correct.
We've all been at weddings. We all know how family sort of the dynamic works in these events. And I've lived my life as a child of two worlds in many ways. Very conservative family, but at the same time with sort of very liberal outlook on life.
Yeah.
So where those two sort of themes come together, where those two points of view come together, we've explored a lot of that in the film as well, with the wedding and everything. So I feel a lot of those thought processes have come from my own beliefs in many ways. So that's, I would say, something that's come from me.
Okay, great. If you had to explain or if you had to describe, how would you describe a romantic relationship for you, and how would you say the few things that you think are a must in it for you?
I would say, I guess, loyalty is very important. Staying by someone through the worst and the good times, and you can be yourself, very authentic and pure. With the person, I would say, is the, I guess, romantic thing. I have
it
no
is.
idea.
I think that's so important. What about you, Paloma?
Being authentic is damn important, and I think building a friendship is also super important, and trust. Yeah.
Avnish.
I agree with them. I'd also say communication is important. You know, you have to be, I think as soon as the conversation stops between, then I think the relationship will always sour. It's always important to talk about whatever you're feeling, happy, sad, whatever, just talk about it.
Okay. Now that you all are here, you have to tell me one quality about Rajveer that you like. This is for the other person, okay? You can do this for each other, and you can do it for the two of them as well. One quality that you think is amazing, and one quality that's slightly annoying, because you spend so much time, it's impossible to like everybody. I don't think it is possible, isn't it? Something, it can be anything. Can be anything. Okay, are you ready?
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
So something about Paloma that you'll have to tell me first. One thing that you really sort of liked, and one thing that can be annoying.
I would say how supportive she's been in this journey in the movie.
Yeah.
both of us could really, I guess, relate for coming from the same boat. Actually, three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how supportive and sweet and nice on set, and just no competition, nothing. All of us were really trying to work hard and make the movie the best. So I really found that really nice.
What about you?
I think Rajveer is a great human being. He was great to work with. He made me feel comfortable from the start. And like you said, you know, all of us started this together. So it felt very nice to have them by my side in this journey. Yeah. Annoying, maybe I had to always decide what we're both eating. You know, that was
Can
something
be
that
annoying.
I had to, like, you know, really get into when we're ordering food.
Yeah. Rajveer, is that true?
You work so much. Even right now, last thing on my mind is what I'm having for lunch.
Arre.
So I'll eat anything.
But I enjoy it sometimes also, you know, looking
Yeah.
at food options and all is something I can do also. So
Yeah.
I would enjoy it also. But then sometimes it would be like, Arey, tell me at least
Kuch
what
is
you
baat to
know.
bol do.
Yeah.
Sure. Avnish, about the two of them, some that you really liked and some that can be annoying. You can talk like a director as well.
No, yeah, I mean, no, it's also as a director also, I feel I have a very elder brotherly kind of feeling towards both Rajveer and Paloma, because again, you know, you share that journey together. I think what I love about both of them, I'll talk about Rajveer of course first, is that the work ethic is extraordinary. You know, I've seen him take the script and live with the script. If there's anyone who's probably read the script as much as I have in the last, say, 2.5 years, it's probably Rajveer. And the desire to get every small thing right, which is which I feel is a director's dream. You know, you get it to someone who can collaborate with you to that extent is just wonderful, and truly loving the character. Something that I probably would have wanted differently. I wouldn't say disliked it. Was again, I feel sometimes maybe Rajveer could have been a little too hard on himself.
Yeah.
You know, and just like relax. You're doing a great job, but that constant that desire, which I feel even I have, because again our first film. That, you know, go easy on yourself, enjoy the process a little bit, don't take that kind of stress. So maybe that would probably be the one thing. Same with Paloma as well. I think she's also someone who can sometimes get a little hard on herself, especially when you were starting out, because you don't have that confidence, you know, you want to impress, you want to do a great job. With Paloma, I'll also say that she's an incredibly compassionate person. You know, whenever someone is going through a tough time, she has this ability to sort of just figure that, okay, something's off.
So
Are you
empathetic.
doing? Very empathetic.
How
Are you
sweet.
okay? Can I help you in some way? Do you want some water? I'll just sit with someone and talk to her. So everyone on set just loved, you know, she was that kind of a person.
Yeah. I also want to just end it by saying that, you know, I was telling I spoke to your father as well. One thing that he mentioned is that besides the fact that you know, so many films, highs and lows, has been through all of that, he said it's also really understood that relationships, personal, are complicated and it only makes you stronger. You know, of course, you know, you've been in a part of a family and every family has very complicated relationships. And he said we're all healing from it. He has said that he feels that they also haven't been given a fair chance so much in the industry. Also that they feel like, he said that I feel today we are making our own path and the industry really didn't like root for it. So he made his own path, the Deols himself.
Yeah.
And I think that is true. I want to know your opinion on that. Because he was talking about Bobby, right? So he said, you know, he should get way more people, just put us in a box and try to sort of make us feel that we're in a certain way. I think it was lovely and I agree with it.
I agree with Dad. I think we just really are such a private family and we get left out of people's mind because we don't really promote ourselves that much. So I guess now Dad's gotten out there and he realized he has to promote himself a lot. So I guess we have to adapt with times as well to get into people's head and to make them realize that we're here. And also, if it wasn't for that, it wouldn't be this. So it makes who you are also. So you wouldn't want to take back anything.
Right.
Even though if it's the lowest of the lowest moments. And Bobby Chacha pivoted from a chocolate boy into such a good villain, performing in so many different characters. I remember sitting with him and the first time he told me, how will people accept me for this?
He said that?
Yeah. And I said, it's all your experiences that made you who you are, Bobby Chacha. And I think he's terrific in whatever he does. I mean, Love Hostel, Ashram, even Animal right now that's going to come out. So I wouldn't change a single damn thing, whatever
about
has
both life
happened.
and movies,
Yes.
right? Thank you so much. I
Thank
hope
you.
you guys enjoyed
Thank
it as
you.
well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.